Welcome everybody to another episode of Indie Inquiries, where we review Steam store pages and provide marketing advice for the best ways to pitch and promote your indie games. And as always, if you're interested in us taking a look at a game for a future episode, please reach out. But I am joined by my friend and co-host, Robert Leach. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Josh. How are you doing?
Doing all right. It looks like it's about to rain any second here. And it's still, we're in summer, we're fully in the summertime here, so it's going to be hot and disgusting, I'm sure.
I'm a little more fortunate. We don't have rain and it's not terribly hot, so no complaints here.
All right, but our game this week comes from a friend and podcast guest who's working on their own deck building roguelike. And this is going to be for the game Metroplex Zero. So, as always, we will start with the thumbnail and then work our way around and down. So, off the bat, I'm not a huge fan of this thumbnail. And there's, I think, several things, like, to me that stand out, but not in a good way. So, the title is definitely, like, on the small side. It's a little bit hard to read compared to everything else. I feel like there's not a central focus to this thumbnail. If you look at the scorpion's like, just like kind of there, like it's not really doing anything. And I'm not a huge fan of this one character, the lady with the two daggers. She's kind of looking off thumbnail and to the right. So it's like not really like giving like any good angles, I think, for like the structure of this thumbnail.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The title itself it's a very cool image, but it's too small, and because there's a lot going on there, it's hard to read. And there's a lot of color cohesion, but like you say, there's not a lot of good. It's not formatted properly. There's nothing pointing in any particular direction. The characters, are reflected well in the game. The title reflects the game well, but like. It's a little all over the place here. I'm seeing all the stuff that you're seeing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, again, it has good colors, but I feel like if we have like the scorpion maybe more in the front and it looks like, they're fighting, the left side's fighting the right side, maybe move the title to the middle, make it a little bit bigger. Or, again, like just give it like a better sense of flow, I think would help this thumbnail out a lot.
For sure. Yeah, I do. I think reformatting it a bit, making it more structured. The things you recommend are good. I feel like blowing up the title itself would be where you start, and then shifting things around to kind of help the viewer out would be a good second step.
Yeah. So I think grade-wise, for me, despite, liking the color and just like the general aesthetic, I feel like it's not at the average level. I don't feel it goes into the D range, but I think for me, I'm kind of leaning towards a C-.
Yeah, I'm spot on with you. C- for me.
Alright, so for the folks watching, here is the trailer for Metroplex.
Metagenix is proudly enhancing the health of our benefactors. Metroplex Zero. Discover the dark truth and fight for a better world. Join in an epic quest against corrupt megacorps. Customize your deck with powerful cards. Upgrade your hero with cybernetic augmentations. Every strategy feels dramatically different. Journey from rebel to legend. Subvert the system. Root out corporate corruption. Metroplex Zero. Download now.
Alright, so that is the trailer while I get back to the normal page. And I think it's an okay trailer. I think it doesn't really have any, like, I think, high highs, but doesn't really have any, like, low lows as well, if that makes sense.
I there's a couple of things that I really like about the trailer. It's something that at least I haven't seen a lot, especially in the trailers we've reviewed. Like the VO elements, that to me means a good deal. It shows some level of polish that we don't generally see, some level of attention. There's this level of excitement throughout the whole thing, but on the whole, there's a lot of things that could be improved on. But there's a lot that I do like about it.
Yeah, I feel like the text that comes on screen, some of the lines are just too fast. Like I can't even read the text, and it just kind of distracts from the footage behind it.
Yeah, that is a solid point. The star of the show in the trailer itself seems to be those titles. The game itself, the trailer is just a little under a minute. I feel like it could be a little bit longer and highlight some of that gameplay that's currently hidden by the words that come across and the music and the VO. That stuff's all very cool and exciting, but you have a cool game as well to show off. And there's some really nifty effects that are coming through from the game that I think could be highlighted a bit.
Yeah, and I wish that when it said, customize your deck with powerful cards, we could see some of those cards in action. Or just, have that footage really, I think, match the text a little bit better. All in all, I think this is a decent trailer, but it doesn't, I think, really, much like the thumbnail, I'm not sure there's, a really good structure to it in terms of a beginning, middle, and end. It feels like it's just kind of like running through a list of features, and then, last feature, we end the trailer kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I don't like using this term because it has a bit of a negative connotation, but it's monotonous in that sense. But it's energy. Like, it's just the same level of energy. It's not like, it's excitement, but it doesn't wax and wane. It doesn't tell that story. But again, I feel like there was enough different for me. It showed a level of polish that kind of, in a lot of ways, makes the game feel like it has that attention to detail to it, even if the trailer itself doesn't have the content showcased to match.
Yeah, the trailer, you can tell that the trailer is aimed at somebody who already knows what a Slay the Spire or a Monster Train is.
Definitely.
So, all in all, it's by no means a bad trailer. I just don't think, for someone like me, that it's, wowing me. Again, as someone who's seen so many trailers, there's not, that one shining moment in this trailer. That one thing that's wow, woo, I really want to play this game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more of a sucker for the flashy effects and stuff. I'm a sucker for that. So for me, I'm at a B- for this. I think there's a lot to improve, but I do like a lot of the things that were done.
Okay. I think for me, I will go a little bit slightly higher. I will go to a C+. I was originally at a C. I feel like for me, I can't put it into the B range, but I feel like it's still a good trailer. It just needs, I think, a little bit more. Again, it's clearly aimed at people who already know the genre. That's where this market is. And I feel like you could do just a little bit more to maybe try and bring someone who hasn't heard of a Slay the Spire or a Monster Train to go, this looks interesting, let me check it out.
Definitely. I think that I agree with that 100.
So let's go to the images. And for the first time since we've been doing this with Rob, we have a really good collection of images.
Yes. Yeah, it was very refreshing to see. I was excited about it.
So we have 10 images. From what we can tell, they are either all original. Now, the ones that just show cards, it's a little bit hard to tell that one because, again, one screenshot of your deck is like the other 50 screenshots of your deck. But
yeah.
I think,
go ahead. I
was just going to say, I think the thing that this does really well, I want to point out to developers watching, and this is something that Rob brought up as well, as doing our pre-review, is that it shows a variety of scenes. It's as I'm sure you remember some of our other ones. There were some images that were just like it's just the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, this makes me feel like the game has a lot of depth, a lot of things to do. I can really see someone who, is a fan of these types of games, whether it be from the RPG side or the CCG side or along or the combination end of things. You can tell like, oh, okay, that does this, and this is that part of it, and this is that part of it. Oh, and there's some story here too. I really enjoy that kind of thing. You see where you level up, you see the shops. You see some how the battle works with regards to some of the cards they have, the effects of those cards, that city that showcases some of the story, and there's another that has some story in it. I do. I'm very happy with all that stuff, and it made me think, okay, this game's got some depth to it. I'm interested. My interest is piqued.
My one nitpick with this is that a lot of the text is really hard to look at or really hard to see. Like if you look at screenshot number 2, like I cannot make out all that text over there.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but at the same time, for me, I was like willing to go in and read the cards at the very end. I think they're the final slide. Oh no, they're second to last slide. Or is that what you're talking about, the individual 3 cards?
Yeah, about the different characters was on the slide 9.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Slide 2 is the one with the different effects. But yeah, that slide 9 is a lot of text there. I wanted to read it because I was interested in finding more out about this storyline. But yeah, it be small. I know it's from in the game, and you can't really change it too much for the screenshots, else you'll meet a different type of wrath. But yeah, there are a couple also UI elements that in some of the screenshots aren't showcased as well. Like they might fade into the background or something. So maybe there's a different screenshot that could elevate that a little more. I feel like there was one gameplay screen, maybe the first one or the fourth one, where there's just some UI elements that are just lost in the background. But overall, like I'm very happy with this. This is a good template to reach for other developers.
Yeah, so I think for me, this is definitely in the A range.
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, really solid. Again, a really good template for developers in terms of how to fashion their images out like this. Show variety, show different systems. Again, the only thing that I think keeps it from A+ for me is the fact that the text is just, again, a little hard to see in a few of these images.
Yeah. No, I'm certainly right there with you.
All right, let's go down to the About This Game. So we start with a pretty decent GIF. It shows all some of the cards. It shows play happening. I think it's definitely like the best part of the About This Game section.
For sure. I really like this in that it does showcase a one round, it looks like, or a half a round of battle. And it's perfect in that regard. And, as the only GIF, I'm a little wanting more, but I like that one a lot.
I think the custom banners are nice. Now, the text in the first paragraph, I feel like this is just a touch on the long side for like one big block of text.
Yeah, and the best part about that, and I mean, to put a positive spin on it, is that it is just over where you want to be at for the maximum. It's not a huge amount of words. It's not going to make your head hurt just to look at the wall of text, but it is on the slightly long side. You could probably do without one of the sentences.
I don't like the customize your deck banner because I feel like there's just a lot of words, just kind of like all getting like mixed together with all that text on the various cards in the background.
Yeah, put a big block of shading right behind the customize your deck to make those words pop out, because the letters, like the eye is going to want to read everything it can discern as letters and words. So it does. It just messes with your mind a little bit when you're trying to look at it.
And we have the gameplay features, just basically tells you everything right here. Over 30 different enemies. Again, I feel like this page is good, but it could be better.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that you love, and you have made me love and want to expect, is animated GIFs for everything. Wherever you can get them, it makes everything a little more interesting. It makes you want to engage a little bit more and keep scrolling just to see the pretty pictures. So there is more that could be done. It's not, it's certainly above average. So there's that.
Yep, and I would agree with that as well. Yeah, more GIFs. Maybe cut up these paragraphs. They would also start to cut up some of the the text paragraphs as well. To maybe just put something in, like maybe have a GIF for each section. Yeah, all in all,
that would be perfect.
Yeah, all in all, I'm with Rob that I think this is above average. Like, I don't think it's super high up there, but I think it's definitely above some of the other ones that we've seen. So I think for me, like, I think the structure, the fact that there is structure to it, definitely adds points to it. I think I may go B-. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with B- for this.
All right. So with that, let's go to the title card. And we certainly are going to be changing our tune here for this one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So right off the bat, we have a big problem. There's only one genre tag. So we're missing single player, indie. We could probably fit maybe even RPG in. I don't know if deck builder is an official genre tag yet, but you definitely need at least 3. That, again, is the bare minimum.
Yeah, this is the spot to kind of just showcase as much information as you can, not just to people reading it, but to the search engine and Steam. And you want to make sure you show up on as many searches as possible and as many, suggestion, like other games like this, is possible. That's where the tags and keywords and all that stuff comes in. So make sure you take advantage of that as much as you can.
So we have a website that we visit, which was decent. Now, here's another big point. You have an official Discord server right here. That should be in the About This Game section. If you have any kind of like community management or community sections for your game, you should mention that in the About This Game page, especially if you want people to click on it and engage with it. Because a lot of people may not even make it to the title card or even notice this little sign that says official Discord.
Yeah, I mean, reading this aspect or studying this area of the page isn't something everyone does. But if you are looking for more information, you're going to look at this, but it's easier to grab someone's attention in the About This Game, for sure.
Now, another big point, there is no social media outreach on this Discord, on this title card. So there is nothing about Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And that is a big problem, because I know the developer is active on Twitter. And this is oftentimes a really good way to get people to be interested, and of course, for influencers to reach out and send you a message.
Yeah, and it's obvious there's a lot of developer activity here. You can see a lot of updates, recent events and announcements. That page is pretty full. You've got reviews. So there's a lot of detail posted here of content that is probably published a lot. Twitter, Facebook, etc. So point people there. They can subscribe or like and just get your feed, and you can just post all that stuff here instead of depending on Steam, which isn't the greatest communication device in the world.
So because of that, this title card is kind of a nosedive. I think because there is a Discord server, I think that barely keeps it out of the F range. But without any other information that, again, this is stuff that you need for Steam to, show your game off, and for people to find you, it doesn't really do that. So I think I'm going to have to give it a D-.
Yeah, I'm at a D- as well.
So for the final grade, so with the trailer, I started at C+, you started at B-. So the best thing was the images, the worst thing was the title card. So, I feel like with just like the range of grades, I don't think it's enough for me to move up, and I'm not sure if there's enough for it to move down for me. So, I feel like maybe I'll keep it at maybe I think for me, I may go C plus for my grade. Like I'm kind of like stuck in between there.
Yeah, I actually was a little bit more generous. I'm going with a B just because, the screen. Again, there's some stuff I haven't seen yet in a lot of these game reviews. So I was very excited to see like such a good screenshots page. The video I thought was really nice, and I leveraged that pretty highly with the B. Yeah, definitely title card. That's one you can kind of ignore for the most part. I don't want to say that you should, like, the developer should never ignore that ever, but the image being low, the title card being low, things to work on, things that can be worked on. But yeah, I'm going for a B.
I think you meant the thumbnail being low. The images.
Thumbnail, right? Image is what I have written on my paper, but thumbnail is what I meant by that.
Yeah, I think for me, again, I think I'll stay like C plus. It's a good page, and just like with a lot of the ones that we reviewed, there isn't a lot that needs to be done to really bump this up. I think this could be an easy B tier page with just a few tweaks. It'll take, I think, a bit more to go higher than that.
Yeah, to go higher than that, you're definitely going to need to put some more work in the video, and that's one of them. That's a difficult undertaking just to get a video out there, let alone work on one and improve it. So, but yeah, I think it's easy to get you to a high B range.
Yep. So I think with that will do it for the review. And again, I think this is a decent page. The game is definitely challenging and definitely one to check out if you are a fan of deck builders. But we will have to see what the fans and the consumers think when this game is released.
Yeah, I actually put it on my wish list, so keeping an eye on it.
You follow the release date plug there, add to your wish list.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to get more games while Rob is still new and he still has that hopeful enthusiasm before all his grades will just be F.
Yeah.
This game is horrible. F, F, F. But that is going to do it for our episode. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I would like to thank the developer for submitting the game. Again, if you'd like us to look at your store page for a future episode, please reach out. You'll find me on Twitter and all that up there and links down below. And where can people find you?
I'm at 4gr.games. That's my website. And right now that is kind of the solo thing that I'm working on. YouTube is going to be my next thing. I've got some presence there, but I'm working on videos. Social media is I still have yet to have a social media plan at the moment. So 4gr.games, it's a very base level website, but it's working at the moment. So hopefully you'll check it out.
All right. So I think with that, we will wrap things up for this episode. It was great hanging out with you this not so lovely Sunday evening, Rob, but I'm sure we'll do it again real soon.
It sounds good. It's a lovely Sunday evening here, so Southern California. So take that for what it's worth.
All right. So with that said, everybody, come back for discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, whereas in the art and science of games. Until next time, take care.